This video is going to be about gain and the lack thereof. So I'm going to just play an open G chord to start to see what the guitar sounds like with all of the knobs at 12 o'clock. So what tone does is it cuts the high end tones. So if we want the amp to convey exactly what the guitar is sending out, then we put the tone all the way up so it doesn't cut any frequencies. I'm not saying this is desirable. I'm just saying when you do that it gets closer to what. It's kind of a subtle difference on this end. And we also have gain at 12 o'clock. Since right now I'm trying to get the guitar to sound, get the amp to sound as close as possible to what the guitar is sending out, I'm going to turn my gain all the way down and I get nothing, right? So we need something coming through the gain. So I'm going to put it at 1 and then increase my volume. So this is a clean sound right here. Sorry, this is a clean sound right here. And the louder you can go without distortion, that's called headroom. You'll also have two settings or two channels, probably labeled 1 watt and 5 watts. On other amps, those are clean and dirty. So the higher the wattage, the more headroom you have. So if you want a clean sound with low gain, high volume, go to the 5 watt or clean channel. So if you want to emulate more of an acoustic guitar, then what we're going to do, I'm going to just keep on using an open G. Excuse me, I'm going to keep on using an open G as a reference chord. So we can turn this tone down. So that's at around a 2. Here it is back at 10. So once again, that's a filter on the really high frequency stuff. It's important to check your high E. So I'm just plucking my high E. Excuse me, I'm just plucking my high E. Because it's possible to trim your tone in a way that actually makes your high E inaudible. So let me show you that right now. Okay, so the focus, once again, the focus here is using the clean sound to get a rich, almost acoustic sounding tone out of the guitar. So once again, here's a reference G string. The tone knob is all the way up and the volume knob is as low as it can reasonably go, basically. So it already sounds really deep because we turned the tone down on the amp, but we can make that even deeper. So I'm just gonna turn while plucking that. Excuse me. While plucking that high E, I'm gonna turn the tone all the way down. See how that just disappeared? So the goal here is to, once again, tone cuts the higher frequencies because the way guitar pickups work is they add a lot of higher frequencies to any note you're playing. So we want to bring the tone down, but we still want to be able to hear the first string, the high E. And just to make sure that all the high notes are working, I'm just going to fret it at around the 12th, which is an octave higher. Hear it disappear. And now we're back. So that's about as low as I can go. So using that, I'm gonna just strum another open G and listen to how much deeper that sounds. So here's tone all the way up, both on the amp and the guitar. And now down to 2 on the amp. So fuck it, let's set it to 0 on the amp. And about, and we can still hear the high E. So from here to here. So that's how you use a clean sound plus trimming back the tone knobs to achieve a richer sound. So now we're going to go from a clean, rich sound to a clean, bright sound. So I turn the tone knob all the way up. We're going to turn the tone here to about a 7 or so. And when I said all the way up on the guitar, I meant all the way up just minus a smidge, so probably a 9 out of 10 or so. So let's hear that G chord again. So once again, back to a much brighter sound, but let's get some crunch behind it, shall we? So I'm going to put the gain and the volume. Did you hear that beautiful angriness when they were both up? So gain and volume are now both at 5 o'clock. I'm going to strum the G chord again. So it's still a bit clean for me. So your values are going to vary. You're probably going to have less headroom than me. That is to say, it's going to break up more quickly than mine. So I'm going to turn my volume down to 4. I gain up to 6. Try the G chord again. Closer. So let's gain to 7, volume to 3. You can hear just a little bit of dirtiness in there. Well, who needs to play the right notes? What I meant to say was, so you can hear the amp just start to break up. So if we want it under heavy distortion, once again, you're going to want to be, ooh, listen to that. You're going to want your volume lower, your gain higher, and you're going to want either that 1 watt / dirty channel. So that's full distortion using just the amp. So I'm going to move this back to 7, gain and 3, which once again is for this amp. Your mileage may vary, and I want to get that crunch tone back. can hear it just start to break up, but we're not in full distortion yet. So if you remember, we were able to get the guitar in full distortion by cranking the gain all the way up and the volume down. Right now, we're in what I call crunch, where you hear it just start to break up a little bit. So once again, here's that reference G chord. A couple of notes from our scale here. So this is the guitar's volume. Right now it's very low. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Now I'm going to turn it up all the way. So the louder your guitar's volume and the harder you hit the strings, you can actually push the amp into distortion from the front, in addition to pushing the amp into distortion by cranking the gain knob. And we can also push the amp into distortion using pedals, which is super handy. So it gives you a bunch of control, whether you're plugged directly into the amp or you've got a few pedals.